And we are live. Welcome to the stream. And today I'm joined by Crypto Boomer
Hello.
and Bullrun Blackmore.
How then? How are we doing?
And this is the Crypto Social, so we've all got one of these.
Cheers.
Guys.
Cheers.
I'm on the Galahad Aldi special because I'm broke now. I was drinking Stella, but I can't afford it anymore.
Has that been since Musk destroyed you?
That's it.
In the market
That's it.
yesterday.
I was living the high life early 2021.
Yes,
And now it's just it's a summer of Galahad. So cheers.
Yes, I'm living off beer and I've got
Beer and beans.
Cornetto for my tea.
How were you both sitting in terms of like, is your overall portfolio below your original cost point?
Mine's not
Or close to it?
It's down quite a bit, but I mean, I think one of the things you got to think of is as well, you're down in fiat terms, but because most of the things I've got are yielding or I'm staking, then
Yeah, you're still earning, aren't you?
I'm earning.
Yeah.
I'm up in crypto terms because I've got more crypto than I did say 4 weeks ago.
Yeah, dollar value.
8 weeks ago. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I know when it goes back up, that I'll have more when it gets to the same.
Yeah, same level.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good way to look at it. I mean, even if it takes 3 years, you'll have more.
That's it. Because I didn't realize at first when I first got into this that when it all goes down and down, do you don't lose anything until you sell it, do you? Let's be honest.
Correct.
No.
Correct.
No.
And then even with like staking and interest, yeah, it might be worth less than what you were getting before. But you can still sell it every week and turn it back to fiat to spend it if you want to. So it's not the end of the world. But let's chat about the most recent Celsius news that's hit today.
I've got a migraine. I need these shades on, man.
Have you really?
Yeah, I really have.
I thought you were just trying to be cool.
Nah. Nah. I look like Roy Orbison with these.
There's a good question there, by the way.
What was that?
Guys, yeah. Even for real shitty coins. So it depends how shit.
Should I never sell at a loss?
Yeah, it depends how shit the shit coin is.
If it's cum rocket, then yeah.
Yeah. How's your dog token doing, Blackie? How's that? How, do we want to go there yet, or?
I think it's like 98% down.
98.
Something like that. Let me check. I put $500 in. So yeah, basically, never buy a meme coin unless it's in the bear market and it's like £10, and then you just wait 5 years to see if something happens. Shiba, it's worth $87. And
Okay.
I put $500 into Shiba.
Nice.
Right.
Didn't you buy that and then Vitalik literally give it away to like India or something?
Yeah.
That happened like within a week of you buying that, I think.
But very next day.
Was it next day?
I didn't mind. I knew it was going to go wrong because I looked to see it in CoinGecko, and it was in the top 10. So it already made its way to the top 10. So it wasn't going to go much higher. But I was just like, yeah, just in case it does, jump on the bandwagon. Yeah, next day.
It's gone to charity, so it's fine.
It's all for a good cause.
It's all for a good cause.
Give it 6 to 9 months. When we have the next cycle of this bull cycle, and all of these shit coins will go crazy again.
Yeah.
So.
Hang on. This is exciting. I've just realised CoinMarketCap has come back online. Now, it's been down all day for me, this. So I wasn't sure what was going on in the market at all. But to answer your question of earlier, there's only two things I'm in the green at now, and that's Celsius token and Matic.
Oh, do you keep your portfolio on?
Yeah, I keep it all on
Yeah.
there so I can keep tabs of what's doing what. Everything else is sort of down, not massively. The biggest loser is Bitcoin for me. My buy-in, my average price is terrible. It's really bad. But I'm not bothered about. I said before,
It doesn't-
Bitcoin for me, it's all about how much you've got of it in the end. Because
Yeah.
if you're here for 5 to 10 years like me, what's it
doesn't
matter? What's it matter today? It doesn't.
It's just an accumulator.
If I was down
Um,
like $5,000 in like Dogecoin, I'd be a bit pissed off. But now,
Yeah, but these dog coins are all right. They're going to come back around. I'm telling you now. Give it 9 months, and when Bitcoin gets to like $100,000, and then it loses its momentum, and then all the alts will go crazy again, and then you'll have Dogecoin and Shiba and Kishu and Kunrocket. It'll all do it again.
people will always come back to it, won't they? Because
Yeah,
people
yeah,
always want to
yeah.
get rich off about 500 quid, Blackie. Is that what you reckon?
Yeah, they just last. Yeah.
But that is right, isn't it? Like people will be like, "Oh, 500 quid on some dirt," and then it might turn into 100 grand or something. That's what they want.
Timber Owl on Twitter literally put like I don't know $300 into Dogecoin in the middle of the bear market, and then when it went bonkers around about 40-50 cents, she had $35,000
Nice.
off 300. So you just got to be prepared to wait. So really, you shouldn't be buying dog coins at all once the bull market started.
Is now a good entry then for Dogecoin?
It's never a good entry.
We
I never bought a dog coin until this one, and I know why I didn't ever bother.
Can we look at this? So I know a lot of people keep referring to this on Twitter, and there's like different opinions. So I mean, this isn't the be end all of charts, but this is like a one people always refer to when they talk about market cycles and the price of Bitcoin.
Yeah.
Due to all this shit with China shutting down miners and all this, has this now been broken, or is it just going to naturally go back to this level? Do you think? Is it just going to happen later on in the year?
Yeah. So I mean, like all of it, like you can see along the bottom, you got that trend line, not the one that goes up. So basically, it just shows you how far above or below the trend that each part of the graph is.
Yeah.
So you can see plenty of times like we've been under the trend a lot, and actually last cycle we were behind the trend before we had the blow off top.
Yeah. Yeah.
And for the first time, we actually kind of like we got ahead of the trend this year.
Yeah.
Which meant like some sort of pullback back to the line was kind of expected. And now we're like really below it, one of the lowest points we've ever been. It's only going to recover. Like
I was going to say,
it's going to recover, but what we'll have is it will end up crossing back across the line later in the cycle. So like this is another point. This is another data point of the lengthening cycle theories. So if you look really closely on the 2014 line and look at the color at the peak, right, and then on the 2018 line, look at the color at the peak. See how the different shades.
Yeah.
So 2018 peak was slightly closer to a next halving point than the previous peak was.
Yeah.
It was longer. And if you look at the colour now, we're like bright yellow. So we've got all the way to green to get to before we experience the peak, basically.
So,
and it wouldn't surprise me if it even started to turn a little bit blue.
Is that pointing then to what? Spring next year or even summer?
Yes. Yeah. So I've got this theory with Plan C. We catch up every 2 weeks, so we do a stream on the data and fundamentals.
Yeah.
And we believe that we could be in for a 3-top cycle.
Yeah, I saw that.
A bit of a bold claim, but if we are, I do think the next peak or like crash like we've just had, where people panic and think it's over, will be sometime between January and March next year. because we're not going to have a new all-time high in Bitcoin to probably September, October. I don't think, which takes us, up back towards the line towards 100k.
Yeah.
And then, what it was like last year. Everybody gets hyped up. It's building up. It's getting higher. So there'll be a bit of a, probably a run throughout the winter period, December, January, and then probably have another top. So what we want to be doing is basically, once we start making new all-time highs, once we get out of the 60k zone and start going up, at that point in time, we should all be strategically taking small percentages each week on green days, build up your stable reserve. And when that big, massive crash happens, you have to decide whether you believe if it's the end or not. And if it's not the end, you need to take a portion of those profits, and basically bag some more. Because I think, as we've just seen, nobody can perfectly predict the end of the cycle.
No.
And I mean, how much more FUD can they throw at Bitcoin? Honestly,
I know.
It's just, I mean, but China, it does seem like they eventually did ban Bitcoin. They eventually did it.
After 7 or 10 years of constantly saying China banned Bitcoin. have you seen the South Park video?
Yeah. But like, when I first got into this, I always think, what's worst case scenario? What don't I like about something? And one of the first things I noticed was just how much mining was done in China for Bitcoin. And I just thought, well, for a decentralized idea, having like 70% of mining in China isn't good for decentralization. And the fact that it was dirty mining as well. So, like, the miners leaving China and relocating to, let's say, they'll go to El Salvador, they might go to Paraguay, they might go to America. Isn't that good for the long-term Bitcoin plan?
Yeah. I mean, say it's bad that it was in China. It depends really on who the businesses are and whether they were controlled by the government, which they clearly weren't. They were in it for the money. Otherwise, if they were controlled by the government wouldn't ban it, because the threat of Bitcoin to the dollar is massively like a huge risk to destabilize it. More so than what the China's currency is, but China don't want Bitcoin to be their new reserve asset. They want their own currency to be the next after the dollar, because the dollar is absolutely dying. But these mining companies, like, their new visitors come in, they've already set up shop in other countries and setting up as we speak. So I don't think it really matters. It's just retail.
It's mad, isn't it? Because did you think a country would adopt Bitcoin this year, this quick? So countries adopted it. More countries are lining up now. There's going to be a domino effect, I think, happening. It's going to happen in South America first. And it's like, and people are bearish now. It's like, I don't get it. But if Elon Musk tweeted now, I've bought more Bitcoin, it would be back up at 60,000 probably.
Probably. And I think Tesla actually have a big plan in play for Bitcoin as well. Any excess energy can be used to mine Bitcoin. Because solar energy is obviously it's on or off. Any excess energy just goes to waste. Whereas if they have mining capacity there, any excess energy from the solar panels and any energy equipment they have in houses, that can be redirected through the energy network, the infrastructure, the grid, back to their servers, for example, and mine Bitcoin. So some people reckon that they're actually preparing to do that. Obviously, there's a lot of mining companies in the US as well. So I just think, most people who haven't bothered to look under the hood properly of cryptocurrency and finance, world finance, don't realise how much sway manipulation that people have on the media.
Yeah.
I question almost everything now. Massive. Just have my eyes open to everything.
Yeah.
But then you get my mate's dad sent him a text a couple of weeks ago saying, "I hope you're shutting down all your cryptocurrency accounts now." It's like
It's like
Why?
the TSB thing. Didn't you debunk that? You tried it yourself, didn't you? You banked with TSB?
TSB, yeah, I saw another article today about it as well. What usually happens, from my experience, is they can block the debit card transactions really easily because obviously it's obvious as who it's going to. But if you do a bank transfer, you're setting up the bank transfer. They can't block it, or at least they haven't been able to block it whilst I've been doing it this week. Whether they start doing that in a week or two's time, I don't know. But
Mate, it boils my piss because it's your money, and you shouldn't be able. They shouldn't be able to tell you what you spent. Like they're fine with you gambling. You can go on Sky Bet or the William Hill. You can do all that. Why can't you spend your money the way you want to spend it? I don't get it at all.
I know, yeah, it's shit. But like the banks have got themselves a nice little cushy position where basically we are all reliant on the bank. Like if we didn't have the bank, how are we going to pay our bills? You know, like
check.
Exactly.
Don't even ask to cash it, don't it? Oh, yeah, that's a really good point.
Yeah, you can't just go to the utility business and say I want to pay it. You have to do it over the phone. You do it through the bank account or your bank card. So they've deliberately carved out the ability to have control of the money. That's why they exist. They exist to be rich. Watched a really interesting documentary this week about the banking cartels in not London, but the city centre of London, and have different rules and regulations compared to the rest of the UK, deliberately for banking. And they have like the offshore tax havens and trusts and all of this. And they've basically created those rules and got them approved years ago so they can basically commit fraud without being fined. And they've got like a web across the world to try and get money and capital flowing back through their banks. That's why there's so many banks that operate out of the city of London as the headquarters. So interesting stuff. And when you realise how corrupt it all is,
it's bad, isn't it?
Absolutely.
They don't want you to. They want your money. They don't want you putting it into cryptocurrency if it's decentralized. They want
the control
because they lose the power, don't they? They lose the power they have over you if they've not got your money, and if you're just putting it into crypto that they can't. They don't like not having that control, do they? And that's why all these countries are trying to ban it, like you said about China before.
Did you see the thing as well about the MP that wrote back to someone on Twitter?
Yeah.
He wrote, "Oh mate, that is just like all the MPs are going to be singing from the same hymn sheet. They're all going to say, oh, it's bad for the environment. Number one, it isn't, and number two, they're going to say that was it the drug, was it money laundering and stuff,
criminal dealings,
activity. Well, it's like, hang on, it's visible. Everybody can see everything on the blockchain. You clearly don't know what you're talking about.
It's funny because the banks are the biggest committers of fraud in the world. You can actually look. You can actually go on Google a list of all fraudulent banking activities in 2020, and there's a list, and like HSBC are up there, Barclays are up there, top German banks are up there.
HSBC,
a slap on the wrist. It's crazy, and obviously these directors, they get bonuses out of the more money they make out of our money, but they don't give it back to us.
If you're going to do a drug deal or something, you're going to pay in cash. You're not going to say, oh, hang on, I'll just scan it through the blockchain so everyone can see what we've done.
There's a CIA or FBI agent who actually spent time researching and figuring out how much criminal activity happens on the blockchain or Bitcoin, and said basically in terms of like a percentage, it's tiny compared to what's done on the current system with the banks. So when we get these centralized digital banking currencies that are coming, so they are now wanting to create the blockchain. It won't be something that makes it easier for us.
No,
it's likely so they can have more control over our money, and see exactly what we're spending it on. But every time we commit a criminal activity, a fraudulent transaction, for example, on the blockchain, fine you. But they won't use the blockchain themselves. they'll stick to the old system in the background to do what they want to do,
Yeah.
how they make money if it's hidden. So it's just to try and get more control and understanding of what we do with our money and how to stop it or influence what we spend it on. So basically, don't adopt central digital banking currencies.
No.
Refuse it.
Have you seen this that has just come out? I did a video on this, one of my first YouTube videos, how he did the prediction for Bitcoin to hit 1 million. But he was a bit of a crazy guy, but he's apparently died in a prison
It's
cell.
funny, innit? It was the last guy who died as well.
Oh,
Paedophile.
yeah, I know what you
Epstein.
mean. Epstein.
Yeah, he just suspiciously died. It's funny how when whistleblowers can oust a lot of people,
They
it's
go
sort of
missing.
shady. Yeah.
Yeah.
See, he created the McAfee antivirus software, didn't
Yeah,
he?
he did. Yeah,
He's famous for.
yeah, he did.
And he predicted £1 million Bitcoin, did he? That when it first come out?
He predicted it, but he was predicting it like by. I think one of his quotes on my video was, "If Bitcoin isn't £1 million by the end of 2020, he'll chop off his dick on live TV or something."
I think
Maybe
he
that's
estimated-
maybe that's how he died.
Yeah. Blood loss.
Well, you never know. That could have been it. I'm just
Yeah,
trying to
it's
find
interesting
that tweet with the reply. Oh, here we go. I've got it up. One sec. The is it Peter McCormack?
Yeah.
So this was the reply from the MP. What he said.
Is that what I was just talking about?
Yeah.
That's perfect. Yeah. That's just going to be a copy and paste now for years. I reckon.
Yeah, so she goes through it. So thank you for your email. Apologies for my delay in responding. I believe it is vital that we have proper regulation of financial services, including cryptocurrencies such as Bitcoin. I do not believe that it should be the government's priority at this time to make it easier for cryptocurrencies to operate in the UK without being fully regulated. Obviously doesn't know what Bitcoin's about. I'm concerned by the volatile nature of cryptocurrencies and the threat that volatility presents to Bitcoin while it uses, and also about the potential for the use of cryptocurrencies to fund illegal and terrorist activity, and about its environmental impacts due to devastatingly high dependency on fossil fuels.
Devastatingly high. Oh.
Do you think that's how ISIS were funding their organisation through Bitcoin?
But it's
ISIS,
like,
no, mate. They were getting money from America, mate.
Yeah.
That's all.
but it's like
Just getting given guns.
it's like drug dealers. Like, what do you pay them in? Cash.
Yeah.
Like, what does the dodgy builder who does something on your roof ask
Cash
for?
in hand.
Cash in hand.
How do you think
Bitcoin.
ISIS pay for their guns? They just do a wire transfer to a dodgy bank.
Yeah.
Like, why it's not traceable. And the US military's laughing that they've gave ISIS some more guns to shoot at Russia, but then they also shoot at us as well. Yeah, the devastatingly high dependency on fossil fuels. That's been debunked. It's actually more per dollar worth of Bitcoin. It's more green than per dollar worth of gold in terms of storing it. But the whole monetary system and central banking uses far more energy than Bitcoin, like a really large amount. Daft. But there's a lot of FUD. For people who understand,
go on.
It's not an issue. But what these crashes show you is there's a lot, and I mean a lot of people who are just here for a quick win, have no idea why they're here, and they're just getting flushed out.
Yeah.
What made you get into it? Was it banking, like me? Like I was just pissed off with banks, or
no? My mate was into property, and I've given him some money to basically invest in a property, renovate it, and then that would do it up with personal guarantee that you get 12% back or up to 12% back, depending on how successful it was. So obviously a lot of different people gave him money, and I was just like, 30 years old, are you just like taking risks to try and, start investing in property or make money? And obviously COVID hit. I was just like, I need to start learning how to make a little bit of like long-term money for when I retire, rather than just relying on pensions.
Yeah.
So I just...
that's the end of them as well now.
Oh, I know. Well, all the pensions will be adopting Bitcoin at some point.
That's the big one. That's the big one.
That probably won't happen until the next cycle.
It'll just be a fraction of a pension, won't it? Because it's all divided up into percentages. So some are in
it'll probably
bonds
be like
and some are in
1%
of crypto, and even that is going to make a huge difference.
Oh yeah, it will. And I just thought, you know what, I need to do some more research on Bitcoin, because I'd bought some in 2018 after it crashed and then recovered. I bought like £100 worth, and I saw it go down to like 50 quid. So I was like, oh, whatever, I'll just wait. I'll leave it. What's the point of selling at a loss? I've only put what I'm prepared to lose. But I checked it again after the pandemic crash when Bitcoin like rebounded, and somehow it was now worth like £200. I was like, all right, well,
whip it out.
You must be able to make money. So I so I just started researching Bitcoin, and because it was the pandemic and we were all off work and locked down and stuff, I was just like, I'm gonna fucking research this to death. But once I'd like finished my Bitcoin research, I realised I needed to get some more, so I got £200, and then just like a small amount. But the more I realised where it was going to go, and the more news I saw about the banks potentially adopting it, and all the rest of it, discovered Celsius, and I was just like, Bitcoin but better. If Bitcoin goes up, then this has to go up because of the interest dynamics and stuff. I was just like, fuck it, I'm getting a bank loan.
Yeah.
I haven't looked back since. It's obviously thankfully gone well, but at that point in time, it was like perfectly timed to do that.
Do you think then somebody that's come in, say like me from Fair, has earned their stripes now because I've had like 90% corrections and stuff, and I've not sold nothing?
Yeah, that's good.
Because I just think as well, like I don't know about you, so many people are they taking small gains now rather than just sitting back. Like it goes up a little bit and it's like, oh, I've made a little bit of money, so I'm whipping it out now because I'm happy with it.
Yeah, a lot of people have probably seen themselves being like 100, 200, 300% up when they've seen it crash below the cost.
So now when it goes back a little bit, it's like, right, I'm taking that. I'm running now. I've got my money. I've got my money back. I thought I'd
lost a little bit,
and now I'm gone.
Yeah. But like, if you look at like where Matic went when Bitcoin and the rest of the market was crashing, it went up to 260. So there's buyers and sellers all the way from there, all the way back down to where we are now. So a lot of people who've just got in over the last 4 to 6 weeks probably sold at a loss. But the best thing you can do is only invest what you're prepared to lose.
Absolutely.
And if it goes red, to say to yourself, well, I'll see what happens in 3 years' time.
See what happens. Yeah, exactly that.
Just switch the apps off and reinstall them 3 years later.
Yeah, because
it's not going to go anywhere.
I know a few people who were just like loving life because they were just like, oh, if I buy today, tomorrow it's up 200 quid, and then I whip that out, and then it goes down, then I'll rebuy, make another 200 quid. And they would love it. They literally, I was telling you, weren't I, that this guy was just doing it daily.
Yeah.
And then when this happens, it screws that plan. That plan's out the window. You can't do that anymore.
Well, yeah, because you get overconfident. You actually don't understand what you're doing. So every time you're doubling your money, if you're putting all of that money back in, your risk is basically 100% risk. It's all or nothing. As soon as that goes down, you're going to wipe out all of your profits. So, like, what I should have been doing is I've doubled my money, cost back to my bank account. I'll play with that. I doubled it again. Oh, put that double back in the bank account. Play with that or half of it. But people just think, oh, it's dead easy, and just do that, and then suddenly it goes wrong, and they'll lose it all. Yeah, I've done myself plenty of times. In fact, I threw some money into Theta the night before last, thinking that we'd got to the bottom, rather than just putting half in and waiting to see if it went dip further.
You chucked it in.
It dipped another like 10, 15 cent on the ass bottom. And then 12 hours later, the next day, it was the bottom. But I did it. It's because, and this is why, the reason I did it is I did it with Chainlink on the crash 4 weeks ago. The Chainlink got down to like $13 or $14, and I was like, it's obviously going to go up. I was like, its all-time high of $20 was back in October. $28 it was at in October. It got down to 13. So I banged some money in and made 25% in 24 hours and just took it back out to my bank. So when we got to the same level kind of dip as we did last time, I was like, oh, yeah, I'll just do it again. But then this dip was actually a bit deeper.
Yeah.
So you get confident, you think, I've done it once, easily do it again.
Yeah.
And then you can sometimes get wrecked.
How many times have you changed your plan this year, would you say? Because my plan was to load up and leave everything. But obviously the way it's panned out at the moment, buying Bitcoin is a good buy, I think, because of where it's gone to. So obviously I've had to change my plan. So how many times do you think you've done that recently in the last month or two?
I haven't, to be honest. I've only changed my plan once, and that was so basically after getting some Matic and some loans, I basically had like my pots that I just wanted to run. But then when Bitcoin was crashing, like I understand that Bitcoin is king, but I wasn't prepared to buy it whilst it was like up at 50. I was at that point in time when everything was going crazy. It just felt like the wrong time to be buying anything. So the only thing I bought was Matic because I knew the Matic run was just starting. So that made sense. So I've stacked a bit of Matic. And then 2 weeks ago, when everything was crashing and we had to sell at an all-time high to Bitcoin, I used 10% of my stack to sprinkle it off over the weekend to get Bitcoin because I understood that the market was crashing and it felt too good of an opportunity to actually get some Bitcoin. But obviously yesterday proved the right decision because obviously sales then gone down and the rest of the market's crashed. So I used like 35% of the Bitcoin that I gained, so I've still got plenty like left, and I used that to diversify into L1 Gold at pretty much the bottom. So that's the only change I've made, was basically to get some more Bitcoin as the opportunity presented itself, really. However, I didn't keep any money back for tax. So if this was the end, I've just created a taxable event, which I can't afford to pay.
Do you think that, talking of Celsius, with all this that has happened with the Ford, China, Elon Musk, it's gone slightly off course. Your prediction last time on the stream of sell $30 to $50, is that still intact? Has it not moved?
I want to say it's intact for the end of the cycle, not the end of the year.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
I think like got
The
a long way
cycle's
to go.
Do you think the cycle's just moved, hasn't it? It's just changed what everybody thought originally. Do you think it's just
It has.
It's just adapting the cycle of time, isn't it?
Yeah.
So I think it'll be a longer cycle potentially.
Some people think summer to September next year could be the end of the cycle. And all of the data points are kind of starting to point from basically March to September for the end, which is another reason why I think a three top run could be in store. But at the end of the day, once the institutions and countries and all the rest of it start adopting it on the treasury, they're not going to countries aren't just going to dump Bitcoin overnight.
No,
because these want to maximize their treasuries long term, and it becomes it's just like gold. Like the more the banks buy it, the more the governments buy it, the more it goes up. It's just like anything. So if they all adopt it for the same purpose, as a long-term store of value, ignoring the short-term volatility, they're always going to buy in when it's going down, with the knowledge that in a longer-term time frame, the amount of treasury they put into it, they could treble or quadruple, or just offset inflation. I mean, that's going to help them fund development in their countries. So,
what do you make of the World Bank's rejecting El Salvador's request for help?
fucking
Like,
wankers, mate.
It is funny though, isn't it? Because they see the threat. They see that, and
Yeah.
The International Money Fund threatened El Salvador and said, "Look, we might pull our funding and relief fund for the COVID relief."
now what does that tell you? It's
know.
just sickening, isn't it? It's power mad. It's like when Greece was struggling, and the EU literally just, instead of helping out, they literally said, "All right, well, we'll give you money, but you've got to give us X, Y, Z." So everybody gains out of a terrible situation, don't they?
Apart from Greece.
Yeah, exactly. And now they're seeing El Salvador. Now everybody who loves crypto needs El Salvador's decision to succeed, don't they?
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think Paraguay are also looking into.
They're going to vote on it soon, aren't they?
Yeah. And the other thing to think about the IMF and the World Bank and other banks is people don't realize it, but the Western world, like the banks, we prey on third world countries. So what we do is we issue $1 billion or pounds worth to a country that's struggling, like El Salvador, or I don't know, like an African nation who are poor. It was use the stimulus package that we've just printed out with thin air on a 1/65 leverage, and but we're going to charge you 10% interest on that, but you have to pay us back. So then that country is indebted to you, like to our bank, at a rate they can't afford, which destroys their economy.
It's
which
disgusting.
is exactly why it is like
that's why
Britain,
it's the third world countries that are going to take it on crypto. Like I think I said to you before, crypto is going to bank the bankless, and it's going to give them a voice. It's going to give them, it's going to be amazing for these countries. It really will be.
It is, and it's something that everybody should be celebrating, not dissing.
And it's going to connect people as well, because I said in I think it was El Salvador, that everybody's got a mobile phone, but they don't have a bank account.
Yeah. Yeah.
So crypto is literally perfect for these people.
Yep. Because you have businesses or blockchain projects which are capable, like Bitcoin and the Lightning Network.
Yeah.
Which are capable of them just having a wallet on the phone, and their employer who do have a bank account paying them in Bitcoin or whatever.
Yeah, which is starting to take off more and more. People getting paid in Bitcoin. Sports people are doing it. Clubs are doing it. So people should be wanting to avoid the bank, because, like you said before, the banks have far too much power. They're corrupt. They're greedy. The crash happened, and they just leave you in the shit. There's no point to the bank, in my opinion, because the loans are terrible, savings are terrible.
The only thing we actually truly need a bank for is mortgages.
Yeah.
And again, that's another system that's deliberately overpriced and all the rest of it. Inflation of house prices compared to everything else.
Yeah.
Fucking bonkers.
Yeah.
But at some point, we're going to have, like Crypto.com, for example. I believe you can get paid directly to your debit card with them.
Wow.
So the only issue, I believe, with doing that, or what I found, was when I have money on their card, I can pay for things, but I can't pay off my Capital One credit card using their debit card because Crypto.com aren't a bank. There's like some sort of rule that says they can't pay off credit to another financial institution.
So you couldn't do mortgage payments that way then?
And I think that is it. I think you could, because Capital One aren't a bank; it's another financial institution. As a bank,
that's interesting.
Yeah. So I need to find it out. But basically, if TSB do start blocking this, Well, then I'll be looking to try and find a crypto friendly bank, where I can just move over to it.
The problem is that this country's so backwards with crypto. Whereas
Yeah, I
if you
know.
went
Yeah.
you went to other countries, you would probably get on really well. Like Portugal's tax free on no capital gains tax, I think, in Portugal, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it's like 10 or 15%, something
Yeah, it's not a
small.
lot. Yeah.
But I think you have to pay to get residency there, though, if you want to make it fast.
Yeah.
That's the only problem.
All right. Well, we'll all just go to South America, boys.
Yeah.
I'll pack me factor 50. Sound.
We could go. Malta's quite good as well, and Dubai is really good.
That's why all these moon boys are in Dubai, isn't it?
Yeah, if you look at all of like the big crypto influencers and the OGs.
Carl the Moon, and then that other one is
Yeah.
the MM, the one with
They
the
just-
weird YouTube thumbnails.
Yeah.
Oh,
What's he called?
the one who does the moon is in the sky.
Yeah, there's
that
Carl the Moon, and there's the other
Martha
guy.
or something.
Yeah, because they're both in Dubai at the moment.
Didn't you do a stream? I haven't watched it yet. About calling out crypto scammers.
He was slagging them all off.
Yeah, so it's basically saying because a lot of these top crypto influencers, like what I did was on the stream, I showed my inbox, my email, and I've got inboxes from like crypto coins. One was When Lambo coin, and then there's a few others. Then there's like a Bybit, and it's a platform which allows 100 times leverage. And the Moon, Carl the Moon, he promotes that. And obviously the majority of people that watch are probably like 18, could be like an 18-year-old lad new to crypto. This guy's showing you, oh, Bybit, get like $1,000 free, blah, blah, blah. But he gets like 40% of whatever the people that sign
Yeah.
up trade. And then he's going to have all these people thinking they're going to get rich, trading 1,000 times leverage.
Oh,
and
did you-
they're going to get wrecked, and obviously he doesn't give a shit.
No, he
It's
doesn't
just-
know.
it's very,
He
it's
takes.
very
He gets his
irresponsible.
cut. He gets his cut, doesn't he?
Yeah,
because
still
because
got pays for his apartment in Dubai. It's-
yeah, exactly. So the thing I don't get with these people, right, is if you're a Bitcoin OG, surely you've made enough fucking money.
yeah,
Like,
yeah. You're
what?
right. You're right.
What? Like, it's about.
The greed takes over, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does. Yeah, a lot of cryptocurrency is about like decentralization, fairness, helping people pay the mortgage off, and potentially retiring early if we ever get to that, and all the rest of it. So if you get to the point of having enough money to live comfortably for the rest of your life, why the hell do you need to like chill? Shit.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Do you know what I mean?
Like this
it's your
guy
money
looks
for
like
it.
he's literally just given up with titles.
It looks like he's trying to have a massive shit.
Yeah. That bottom one looks like enter cock here or something. It's weird.
But he's got 421,000 subscribers, like you say. So the money he makes off YouTube and his affiliate links alone, plus whatever else that he charges for,
Yeah.
and his crypto, he must be comfortably living. So
Exactly. Like it's just greed, isn't it? Like
but
when
on
if-
here it says big bonus on old videos, Bybit tutorial, only for experienced traders. But people are just going to jump on that thinking they're going to get rich. Really,
I mean,
Oh yeah.
look at the
You know
state
that
of the head.
story about the kid who committed suicide? Like I don't know, like they say like he was like 18 years old or something, or 16 years old. He wasn't old enough to be gambling or trading. Gets onto one of these websites that don't have KYC. Ends up trying to do a leverage trade and ends up like $12 million in debt that was lent to him. Then he committed suicide because they were giving him loads of grief. Anyways, his parents tried to like sort it out and get it cleared. Anyway, the day before the letter came in to say that, oh look, okay, we'll clear it. It's how bad he's a kid. Because they're going to take him to court. He'd already committed suicide from like all the like
see, it's,
panicking so
tragic,
much.
innit?
stuff like that,
Yeah.
stuff like that can happen with these guys. I mean, I post affiliate links, but literally all it is like it's the standard one that you go by, the Celsius one. You get $40. I get $40 if you do it.
Yeah, so that's
And
not
then-
too bad. That
And then the Swissborg one, you can earn up to $100 in CHSB. It's like a random amount that you both get.
Yeah.
But it's not leveraged. It's not times 100. You only put in what you can afford to lose. It's not like you can put 100. It's not like you're buying $100 worth of like Dogecoin at 100 times leverage.
Yeah.
And, do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
You
because
can't
with
do that.
those, you can just put stable coins in, so
Yeah.
you can't lose it. Yeah.
And that's what I try to promote on the channel. Just sensible things. Obviously, there's other stuff like shit coins that I've gone through or pancake swap, but none of it is like saying 100 times leverage, or promising, on that video I did as well. I was looking at this other channel, and this other guy had 70,000 subscribers, and his top like 50 videos was like the next coin to times 1,000, top 5 altcoins times 1,000, and it's just like, how can you say that?
Really, like we all get caught up in price predictions, right?
Yeah,
And we shouldn't really get caught up in price predictions.
yeah,
We should be setting ourselves a time frame of what percentage you would be happy with by a certain point in time,
yeah,
and then taking that profit or X% of that profit. Because what happens is, when you get to the point of having a certain amount of like followers or subscribers on YouTube, and people watch your show a lot, that they're coming, even though it's not official advice, because you're putting yourself out there publicly. A lot of people think you're professional.
And what you're saying is gospel.
And it starts like when I tweeted that I put $500 into Shiba for a laugh. Somebody sent me a message saying,
They had done it. They copied you.
Yeah. It happened with Chainlink as well. And it was on the $30, and I don't think Chainlink's a bad project, and I think we'll go past that area again in this cycle. But the point is that you don't realise that people are copying like some of your trades. And it's still their responsibility, but obviously, what happens sometimes is some YouTube channels that are really popular to talk about end of year predictions. People can only think about the end of year prediction. They don't think about the road like this all the way to get there, and whether it's even possible.
Yeah.
So when you've had like, some of these sell predictions of like $100, $180, moonshot if we get 2 million like users and all of this stuff, and then like people saying, it'll be this by this point, this by this point. People,
and then if it doesn't happen,
people don't zoom out and think, I'm going to get a loan and do this, not thinking that 100,000 other people probably just had the exact same idea. I want to get a loan as well and do this. When everybody's just taking leverage to do something that might not even materialise. So you get all these people really excited, and then before somebody like messaged me saying, should I panic sell at $5? He said, I've got 3 payments to make in July, August, September for a project that he's committed to that's already underway, because he thought a sell was going to be at certain price points this year.
Bloody hell.
And so like, and people don't, like, people just think that it's just going to keep going up forever. They don't sit back and think, okay, really, if it's already made a 10,000% move in a year, how much has the entire market got left in it before, there's another like big crash? That's what a lot of YouTubers like don't really think about. Or people like, I spoke to this person on YouTube and they think this. Doesn't mean fuck all. It's just an opinion.
It just got scary with me, the amount of emails that I got from random people with tokens, and then all these affiliate links and stuff. And like I say, I've got a YouTube channel that's got like 330 subscribers. What do these that get 400,000 subscribers? What are they getting offered? Because I'm sure I read somewhere that people like some YouTubers with like, BitBoy's got 1 million. He gets paid like $500,000 just to promote some shitcoin, knowing that he's got the influence to push it,
to move the market,
to move the market. If it's got a real low market cap, he can just say, buy, BitBoy coin, and everyone will be like, oh shit, it's going to do 1,000 times.
That's how all of these Ponzi tokens work, and all the shit dog coins. They pay not one influencer, but a lot of influencers who take a quick run because they're greedy, shill the project, or probably being gifted some tokens,
Yeah.
shill the project and dump, or just sprinkle as it goes up.
What I think they do as well is I think they pay these crypto influencers, and then I think they have like a date in mind. So they like say to them like, right, upload your video June 1st. This is when if you record your video June 1st, upload it, and then that's the day we'll send once you uploaded your video, we'll send you the tokens, and then that's where it all
Yeah,
happens.
I saw somebody tweet saying, if you see this kind of graph, probably a shiller. Anyway, the next day I saw this one called Crypto Mist saying this project, this chart looks strong. And I looked at the chart, and I could see like a flat line before it had like all of this like shape to it. If I zoomed in on the time frame of the graph, it was a 4-hour time frame, and I counted all of the candles. It was something like 3 days worth of data. And then, so basically just released. So it'd probably gone like, 3 daily candle bars, but on the 4-hour, it's like 70 odd candle bars. And it's gone like, oh yeah, this one looks strong, kind of thing, support. And obviously, they're getting paid to do that, so people go buy it. And I commented on it saying, this looks like a lot of data, but it's only 3 days worth of data of price action.
Yeah.
If people are like, yeah, it's mana, you don't understand, the devs are great, and I'm like, I don't give a shit. Like, you start to realise that tribalism doesn't only happen in the good projects. It happens in all the shit projects that people think have found it.
Yeah.
And most of these are like Ponzi schemes and rug pulls. But they're saying, oh, the devs are great, they've got a roadmap. Have you seen the roadmap? This is coming out in 2 weeks. Like the poly whale, krill.
Yeah.
That had already
Yeah.
tanked to death. So I tweeted saying, this is what a Ponzi scheme looks like. And somebody was saying, no, you don't understand, the dev team have got a roadmap. It's going to come back and they're releasing the hyper tanks or something the following week. I was like, well, show me the proof in the pudding and I'll tell you when it stops being a Ponzi. And then somebody told me today they've ditched the project.
I looked at that on one of my streams, and then I got a comment saying, look into it. It's a Ponzi scheme on the video. So I had a look. I was like, shit.
Well, see, even Mark Cuban got caught up in one, wasn't it? Was it Titan?
Titan.
It's fucking brilliant, man. Obviously, well done to him for however rich he is. But what you come to realise is a lot of rich people aren't intelligent. A lot of people are born into it or get lucky, as well as intelligent people being rich. But did you see it? The Mark Cuban missile.
Yeah, it's brilliant. Really, that's it.
You got it on the screen. It'll be. There we are. I'll share my screen.
Can you share?
Share screen.
Bottom.
Where's it gone?
Is this the guy that bought a load of chilies as well?
Yeah, I've got it on screen now, on the right hand side of the screen.
Wow.
So it went, I think it's something like, it could have been $27 or higher.
Wow.
And my mates in my Telegram group, they were chatting about it like going down, saying they've just like pulled out at like $20, $14, $12. And it went from basically, $25 to $0.0007 in a day.
Jesus.
I'm actually... sorry, go on.
And the Telegram group, my mate was inside the group. He showed a print screen. Everybody kicking off that the project's getting rugged and all of this. And the devs had the cheek to say, we are muting this group because there's too much FUD in here. The protocol is working exactly as designed. All we are seeing are early investors taking profits, and then people have panic sold on top of it. Right, okay. From $20 to $0.0007. And they actually muted the group.
Jesus. I'm actually making a DeFi course at the moment, and I just have to keep rewriting it and adding extra things in because there's that many things out there where it's like in DeFi where they promise it in high returns, and usually the higher the return,
The
the more
more,
likely to get rugged. And
The dodgy it is.
Yeah.
it's
But-
it's
so this-
if you get too greedy and you can really get wrecked, really get
Well, it's like-
wrecked.
when one of you asked me about the fish token,
Yeah,
and my mate had literally asked me about it like a week and a half beforehand. And when he asked me about it, it was like 60,000% APR.
I
And
asked
when
you
you
about
asked
it.
me,
I remember
600.
now.
yeah,
It was down to 600% or something, wasn't it?
yeah,
Now it's probably 6.
yeah, and it's probably rugged and there's probably no volume.
have you noticed that
It's-
though? That there's a lot of that in crypto where no one has any patience. So it's like, I'm in this that's 1,000% APR. Oh look, it's gone down to 200, but this other thing is now 2,000. Let me get into that, and then it's just an endless
Well, it
cycle
is,
of.
and
I suppose if
take
you
a lot
play,
of risk.
if you played it, if you did it full time and you played it well, I suppose you could probably profit for it. But it's very risky, and it's you're creating
Very
that
difficult.
taxable event every single time, aren't you?
well, yes,
you have to
it's
chop
classed
it
as
and
income
change
as
it.
well.
So many times you have to chop and change it, and like you say, the income is taxable as well. So it's
Yeah.
it'd
And,
be
and
very
if you claim that at $20,000, and by the time you sell it, it's gone down to 10, you've cost yourself an income tax on claiming it. But at least you've got like a negative capital gains, but it won't offset the amount you've just had in income.
yeah. Yeah. There was something else I wanted to show you. I don't know if you two have seen this. So this is obviously our
Oh,
favorite
there's me, mate.
YouTuber. So he revealed his portfolio. I just wonder what your thoughts were. Do you reckon? So
Nah.
I think this is one of two things. I think this is either one, completely legit, or two, more likely, I think this is just completely made up, and he's just kind of just said, "Oh yeah, what do you think people would think is a
The
realistic?"
thing is, any of us could do that, couldn't we? I could make one right
Yeah.
now.
Yeah. So
Any of us
what-
could make that
about what he's got
portfolio.
listed there? What do you think that he's actually got, and B, how much do you think he's actually got, BitBoy? Because he's obviously made a lot of money off his YouTube channel, but it's how much crypto does the guy actually hold?
Yeah, well, he's been around. He was around in the last cycle, wasn't he?
Yeah. Yeah.
What the fuck is Eternity Chain?
What I think-
Cosmos is a random one to hold.
Can we just say how old's he meant to be? Because he looks like my dad, but he's probably my age. I mean, I know crypto, like, it does age it, doesn't it?
It does, yeah.
to see what else.
I think that could, if he's being honest, I think that could be his.
Elron's there, mate.
970.
I like how he's put in how many dollars he has. 306,000 USD
Just
sat on
on
the
it.
sidelines.
Yeah.
Interesting.
What I think though, what I think he's done in this, which is quite clever, is because obviously he makes a YouTube channel that he speaks about a lot of crypto, doesn't he? These are my
Yeah.
top 5 coins this month. These are these are me top 5. You're not telling me every single coin that he shows he's still got. I think what he's had to do is if he creates this, he's got to think, well, I've talked about fucking 120
Yeah.
cryptocurrencies. I've got to include them in my portfolio, or else people will be like,
Possibly.
"Oh, you shield this and you don't have it."
He seems to have like quite an unmanageable amount.
Yeah, I mean, look
Yeah.
at it. It's still going.
I've got more respect for the people that post like their buy. You can see that they buy it and what they paid for it. Whereas that, you can just create that, and we could do that now.
Yeah,
He's still
yeah, it's an
going.
interesting one. Has he got any selling there?
I think so.
He doesn't. No, he hasn't got any sheep either.
Yeah, what's going on? It's made up, mate.
Still going.
No way.
Yeah, I don't think.
I don't.
He,
He can't have that many.
nah. Like, why would you bother buying that much?
Now, when someone says to you, "Have a manageable amount
Like
of
Cello,
crypto,"
why the fuck would you own any Cello? It's like a fucking may as well not even exist. What the fuck is it?
Nah, there's
Look at
no
that.
way you
Look
can't
at that,
keep
though.
you can't keep track of that, can you? What's the point?
Nah, you wouldn't. No chance.
Oh,
He's
look
full of
how
shit.
much look how much Matic he has.
He's the biggest fat liar I've ever heard.
Hang on, is that 3-matic?
Yeah.
Just in case it does anything.
Yeah.
What on earth?
That can't be right, man. That cannot be
Unless
right.
he's got it plugged into something like his computer or something like APIs. It's just a reward. Seems really odd.
It's still going? No way.
Yeah, he's still going.
Now he's got like 0.0 some of things.
Yeah.
He's got a little
That's
bit in
like-
everything.
Oh, look, he's got 2 cents
Dust.
of Kasama.
Yeah.
What? Nah,
The only
I'm
thing I
not
can think
having
of
it.
is it's connected to his Binance accounts and stuff like API. Everything he's bought and forgot about over the years, it's just like pulled through.
So there you go.
10
well,
million,
at the time, 10.7 million.
That's probably down to 2 now.
I know, yeah. With that many shit coins.
So he's got. I mean, look, the top, the graph. I've not actually heard of that. And
Have you not? It's meant to be something like
200,000.
the Internet of blockchains or something. Like the Google of the blockchains.
Right.
I haven't looked into it deep enough, but high risk. There's a lot of a lot of it's high risk. We've just found out regulation's a big risk for a lot of things.
I mean, he's some of them you can't really argue with. I mean, 58 Bitcoin, 1,400 Ethereum.
I'm not sold on Ethereum.
1,000 Aave.
No. We touched on that earlier, didn't we? I just said, where's Ethereum go now, really? Because 2.0, by the time that comes out, it's just, I think everything's going to just have outperformed it. I think a lot of stuff's already here, isn't it?
Yeah, I think it's really good news for Matic Polygon.
Well,
Yeah.
BitBoy will be pleased. He's got 3 of them.
Fucking hell. He will be as well. It's going to make a massive change to his portfolio.
That's going to prop his portfolio up, that is.
I know. Are any of you thinking about getting any equity and sell at the equity fundraiser?
Not thought about it, to be honest. No. When is it?
I'm not sure. Not sure.
Well, I've just invested a small amount in the what's it called? The FV Bank.
Yeah. I saw Kevin post a bit of information
Yeah.
like that. So is that going to be the solution to what we spoke about before?
Well, yes. So these kind of entities may be the banking kind of partnerships that Celsius needs for smarter, cheaper on-ramping, and
Yeah.
so that they have a partner to deal with that side of the regulatory framework to get money in and out.
Do you think going forward there needs to be an alternative to MasterCard and Visa for it to work properly with crypto?
No, because
how can they exist?
Visa are well ahead of MasterCard in the crypto game.
Mm.
That Visa are powering pretty much all crypto cards that I've seen.
Yeah.
Mm.
So Visa are crypto friendly. It's the banks that aren't.
Yeah.
Because Visa are going to go where the money is, because they're a service provider, right?
Yeah.
So if the money's going to come out of the crypto companies and people want to spend their crypto without going back to the bank, then Visa are going to give them that option. How do you think, when will be the best time to buy crypto?
No.
Right now, yesterday, today,
not
and tomorrow.
Not financial advice, but no.
Every single day, The market
dip.
is red. Buy a tiny bit of Bitcoin, yeah.
Dollar cost average in. Put a bit
Yes.
aside every week or every month, and dollar cost average in to some decent crypto.
Do you know what's been
And
really pathetic?
5 to 10 years.
I'm
You'll be
that
good.
broke.
Yeah.
I've been buying £15 worth of Bitcoin this week each day.
Yeah, that's class. Yeah, it is. That's commitment. 10 days,
Yeah.
150 quid.
Mm.
That's what you got to do, mate. You can get DCA options on some like accounts where you can just buy £5 a day every day.
Oh, right. So you could just set it up and you just forget about it.
Yeah.
That's quite good.
Crypto.com and Swissborg might actually have that option in the app somewhere. Binance might do as well. I haven't used it. Yeah, have a look. A lot of them allow you to average in like a 5 or a 10 a day.
Because if you do that, it takes away the emotion of putting a big lump in when it's a certain amount.
Yeah, that's the best way to do it, especially if it's like a long term horizon, because it's always lower for longer than it is at the top. So averaging in, you're more likely to catch all of the bad days more regularly.
Yeah.
So that's a good play, that, especially if you're looking at a 5-10 year play on Bitcoin. Like,
Yeah, definite.
it's the best thing to do. Another method would be to average into a stable coin, and then you deposit that stable coin somewhere like Celsius or wherever to earn interest. And then when the market takes a fucking massive shit, you just ape in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's another option. So then, because then your savings are already in crypto, ready to go.
Yeah.
But obviously that crash may not be lower than where the DCA might have been before it. But it's just another.
That's what I wish. That's what I wish
idea.
I'd have done when I first got in. Is put all the savings into like US dollar, into a stable coin, and just have it sit there, earning me
Wait for the
money.
opportunity. Yeah,
Exactly.
It's really hard to do that, though, isn't it?
Well, yeah, you've got to be watching it all the time as well, haven't you?
Yeah, it's very difficult to have, like, say to yourself, we're DCAing over the next 30 days, this amount per day, but it goes down to you had a bit more in than you should have done.
Yeah.
Or like,
Yeah.
it goes down a lot.
I remember thinking, like, we spoke when it was what, $1 billion asset or whatever, the Bitcoin, and it was like, well, the bottom should be around 50 now, and then there we are, where the current bottom seems to be around 30. It's just mad, isn't it? Who'd have thought that?
I know. Well, there is obviously the manipulation at play. Is it the Wyckoff?
Yeah, I've seen
accumulation?
this. I saw this. Yeah,
and funnily enough, we're
pretty
playing,
accurate so far.
So we've either just one or two things coming. We're either going to play out that model, have the triple bottom and go, which we're getting close to doing, or we're going to have a max pain event back down to 24 before we carry on.
Either way, doesn't really matter, does it, where we are? Because
no.
we're here for the long term. So,
well, you two might be, but I'm going part time at the end of July.
Mackey's. So your plan's not changing now?
Nah. Well, it's changed that I will stay on part time, just in case. Like,
so you'd full time gone. Had your full time gone, and now you're just
So I'm still at the same place. So basically, drop down to 16 hours a week, and hopefully, I think calculating it right, that's basically cover like all of my bills and most of my bills. But I'll use interest from Celsius for my shopping and spends basically, or holidays or whatever. And then I'll, assuming the bull run continues, which I believe it will, I'll start to offset profits into stables, small amounts every couple of weeks as a habit. And then that'll boost my interest as well, slowly. And then at the end of the cycle, hopefully I have enough there to not have to worry too much about working part-time, but it might all go to zero. So it just depends if we can get to that point.
Dubai or back to Scotland.
Exactly.
What does everyone at your work think? Do they think you're crazy?
No, I just think they can't really believe it because a year ago, I was telling him you need to get involved in this because you could like sort yourself out by like a year's time.
Has anyone followed your advice at work?
Nah, just a couple of people have. A guy who put some into Bitcoin back in December, and then every time it went up, every time his money doubled, he took out
Took it out, yeah.
the money. And he did that all the way up to $50,000 of Bitcoin, and he used it to furnish his new house that he'd got with his girlfriend. So that was good to hear. So that was quite a happy note. And then my other friend, he's switching jobs soon. Do something he enjoys with like lower pay because he's done well from it. And then another guy has done quite well who's listened to me, and he's going to use it to pay off some of his mortgage next year. So it's really good.
How about paying tax? You got to make money before you pay tax, haven't you? It's not something I'm worrying about yet.
No,
Let's put it that way.
The worst thing about tax is like you can make a lot of profits, but if you're doing what your mate did, let's just say your mate made £100,000 of profits and kept doubling his money all the time, then he put all of his 100 grand into one trade again, and the market shit his pants, he wouldn't have the money to pay his taxes. That's why you really have to think every time you sell something, you should just keep 20% back as a rule. It's hard to follow that, but it is hard. As for paying taxes, well, you're only going to be on the radar potentially as soon as you declare. So when you do declare, if it's not this year, just the next tax year, then you'll have to do a catch-up run of tax anyway. Obviously, the longer you leave that, if you're in interest and stuff, the higher that tax bill will be. So there are calculators and stuff which I need to figure out myself. But same here, it's not something I'm worried about at the moment. But in a few months' time, I'm probably going to start planning for like the end of the tax year and just see where I am and get the software working. And then if I'm working part time, I can always help other people understand the software that we need to use.
Yeah.
Because you have to also consider you could put it off to the next bull run and do a big 5-year catch up event. So I know some people have basically been doing crypto since 2017 and never paid tax, but now they're doing like a catch up. So it's like all tax, capital gains tax from venting now. And now you've got to have to consider that the regulators are all over it like a rash. So they will have our email addresses and we will be KYC'd. So I imagine if we don't declare it, they may request users from the exchanges to find out who's involved in crypto and then, come out to people or send you a letter. I don't know, but it's usually best to try and be safe. The HMRC.
Yeah, definitely. Right, we've gone for an hour 13. Any final thoughts?
I need another beer.
Yeah.
No, but we're still here. The rest of the market seems to be quiet, doesn't it? It's really interesting.
Psychology, it's like when everything's going down, the interest wanes, but that's a completely wrong way to be. John Love for Snow. What country are you from?
Yeah.
Because capital gains in the UK is only 20%. So if you're UK, you don't need to worry about a 45% tax rate. It's 20% on profits.
Yeah.
Well done for hodling for 5 years. No, 6, 5 years.
5.
That's a true hodler.
Sometimes that's the best way.
That's how we get rich.
Well, yeah, I mean, that's it though. I mean, if you're not creating as many taxable events, i.e., if you're not dabbling in 1,000%,
Yeah,
Holy
and
Whale, and
switching tokens all the time.
switching tokens all the time. If you're literally just dollar cost averaging into crypto,
It's
and just,
easier to work out.
and just leaving it, it's a lot easier to work out your tax at the end. A lot easier. I mean, if all you've done is dollar cost average into Bitcoin, and then 5 years later you cashing out, you know exactly how much you put in. You'd be pretty easy to work out your tax, wouldn't it?
Yeah,
But I presume it's going to get it's obviously going to get harder for people to work out what they're doing with tax, because there's that many different things you can do with crypto now compared to last time, that it's very hard to keep track with the different exchanges, the DeFi, the wallets. There's
Yielding.
so much, isn't there? The yielding. It's it's been made 1,000 times more complicated this time, hasn't it? Whereas back in the day, it's kind of like you have either a cold wallet, or you just on one exchange or whatever, you just buy in a certain amount and then you leave it. Whereas now it's there's so much you can do with your crypto.
it's going to be an interesting one. Once I've figured it out myself, I'll share how to do it.
Yeah.
But basically, best thing to do is just pay £100 for some tax software. Get your CSV Excel files from every single wallet and exchange you use. Put it through the calculator, and then also check it in case it's mistakenly treating a certain trade incorrectly. So, when you put something into a protocol, you might want to ignore that if it's trying to treat it as a disposal, but it's not, because you've taken it back out of the protocol at the same amount of tokens 3 weeks later. And it's not a disposal. You've always owned it, so you have to check it, because it doesn't treat putting things into a protocol very well and pulling it back out. Sometimes it thinks it's a taxable event.
I think what you'll probably maybe find as well over the next couple of years is more crypto-friendly accountants. So, someone who's clued up on what actually happens in crypto, you could just go with them, sit down, here's all my CSV files, this is what I've done, and then they can just, have a couple of hours with you and bang it all in and then submit it and save the time.
It's definitely a potential job role.
Yeah,
the
100%.
The last accountant I spoke to, who was kind of in the know crypto wise, and partnered with the VCAP business, and he has software and stuff. He was just so busy that he just never got back to me in the end. Signed up, hoping to use him, and didn't even get to the point of having to hand money over or documents, because he just couldn't keep up with the amount of people obviously trying to use the business.
It's going to mature, isn't it?
Yeah, I'd be more confident with that, me. I'd literally, if you can gather the evidence of what you've done, and you can go to an accountant who knows what they're doing and knows the laws precisely in cryptocurrency, and you can just go, here's all the data, you're the accountant, here's your fee. Here's your fee, a few £100, sorted out, and then boom, done. That'd be, really,
we'll get to
really
that.
helpful. Yeah,
I think we'll get to that, won't
we? Yeah.
Well, yeah, it's just being able to make sure you've got the spreadsheets from the 25 different apps you've used.
Yeah, and all the shit coins you've bought and all these random DeFi platforms.
I want to go back 6 months and hit the reset button.
I know, yeah.
And just buy Bitcoin and leave it.
I think so now, yeah. Might as well have done.
Easiest way to do it.
Yeah, definitely. So what I would say to people is, like I was saying to you guys before, since this market has kind of dipped, the views on my channel have gone down. I've had so many people messaging me and stuff saying, what do I do with this? What do I do with that? Is it the bear market? It's not the bear market. And what it is a sale. Do you know what I mean? Bitcoin, maybe even last time we did a stream, was a lot higher than this, and now it's a lot cheaper. So people are asking when to buy it. No.
I read something. One of the biggest holders of Bitcoin bought a shitload more of it at $32,000. So you don't do, like you say, you don't do what people say. You watch what they do, don't you? And if somebody's buying that much Bitcoin at $32,000, and you're sat waiting for 50 quid to put in, I think at 32,000 it would have been a good play.
Yeah, I agree with you.
Definitely.
I've tried to find that picture. There's a picture whereby you have all of these people lined up at the booth. And one booth is Bitcoin at 60k
and
Bitcoin at 30k.
Yeah.
And you've got a herd of people at the 60k,
Yeah.
but only one person at the 30k.
Yeah. It's
just
bang
been given,
accurate. It's bang accurate.
They've just been given such a better price point to buy Bitcoin if you're looking for that entry. So why the fuck aren't you buying it at this entry?
Do you know why? Because
well,
not enough people understand it, do they?
Yeah.
That's why.
No.
They just think it's money go up constant, and when it doesn't go up constant, it must be rubbish then.
It must be a Ponzi.
Yeah. People just need to keep their emotions in check and just, don't check your crypto portfolio every hour.
I'm just checking mine now, actually.
It's an addiction.
I was just checking the price of Bitcoin just out of interest. It's holding at 33 at the minute.
It's like I said before, to you guys, it's been really choppy. Would it go down to 27?
Yeah.
In the last 10 days, has it been between 27 and 40? It's been, very choppy.
I'd be happy with. I'd be happy with ranging, from like what we are now to under 40. I wanted it to be under 40 because I said I'd only buy any more this year if it went around where it is now. So
yeah, that's what it should be. Yeah,
that's what I've done.
I remember another stream where you were saying that 50k was the support level and you were buying it every time it dipped under.
I know. It's mad, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's why I'm so down. That's why I'm so in the red in Bitcoin, but I don't care.
It's better anyway if you get it like now in the red because it drags the average down.
Yeah, your average price.
So then, if you ever did want to exit, you can exit at a lower price point to get your money back out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but none of us are doing that.
No,
we're all hodling. We're ready.
Because in my head, Bitcoin it's gonna go way past 100,000 in the next 6 to 8 months. My opinion.
Yeah, possible.
Definitely by the end of this cycle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we'll have another very interesting Christmas.
There you go.
That was the last time it went mad, wasn't it?
Yeah, it's got a habit of doing it in the bull cycles on that over the winter.
Yeah.
So,
we shall see.
I hope so.
But yeah.
Then we'll all be on the boats in Dubai instead of in our kitchen.
Oh yeah. Well,
go in
Dubai party.
Take this shot.
Yeah.
What's Bitcoin doing? Look now. Buy tomorrow.
We'll all be on a yacht with Carl Lamoon, BitBoy, and then Crypto.
Telling them how amazing they are, and we followed their every transaction.
Yeah. Asking for secrets of shilling.
Yeah.
Right. Cheers for watching, guys. We'll definitely do one of these again, and hopefully next time that we do one of these,
next time.
Hopefully next time Bitcoin will be a lot higher, and so will the market. But yeah, cheers for watching. Subscribe to the channel, like the video, and we'll see you all very soon.